in Spain, where Montakit Fuenlabrada will be hosting Lietkabelis. It's the final game day of the Basketball Champions League, game day number 14. You can see the other games taking place in Group C, all tipping off at the same time. Rosa Bamberg, Chesnimberg, Dijon against Jerusalem, and then Ike Antwerp. But of course here it's Fuenlabrada and Lietkabelis, two teams in the bottom half of the group. Lietkabelis with a chance to finish 5th at best, also could potentially finish 7th. Meanwhile, Fuenlabrada locked into that 8th and final spot for Group C. It's been a tough road after starting the beginning of the season with 3 wins. Fuenlabrada on a 10-game losing streak in this European competition. Meanwhile, Lietkabelis 4 wins, 9 losses. You see there, tied with Dijon and Chesnimberg. They've been up and down all season. They've lost their last 2 after picking up a big win over Rosa Bamberg, but then losing to Ike and Dijon the last 2 game days. And you can see today will be a chance to get a couple of new faces, some youth onto the court perhaps. As you take a look at the lineups, the guys have been there all season long for Coach Chanak, Donatas Tarolis, Simas Isaitis, but keep an eye out, number 17, Mantas Rupstavicis, only 16 years old. The guard getting a chance here to play for the first time in the Basketball Champions League, and of course the veteran Jamar Wilson alongside him. Meanwhile, Dan Clark back into the lineup for Fuenlabrada after getting the week off last week in European competition. There was no Fernando Paco Cruz in that lineup either. He makes his way back. Maurice Kemp coming off a big game last week in a loss, 20 points, 8 rebounds for him. Christian Ayenga also making his return. So some of the young guys we saw last week will not be playing tonight. It's a chance for these guys to go out potentially with the win here for their home fans in their final game of the BCL. And this is actually the second game for Mantas Rupstavicis. He did get 1 minute last week against Ike, so first time playing on the road, we'll say. And now we're going to get the player introductions for Lietkabelis. This is a team that's been led in scoring by a couple different guys throughout the year. At the moment, Isaitis, 10.2 points per game, leads the way. He's had 3 straight games, double figures, 7 in total in the first 13 games of the BCL. Now we'll get the introduction for the home side, Montakit Fuenlabrada. There is the aforementioned Francisco Cruz, still 12 points per game, leading scorer for this team. Had some great games in the Champions League. You'll recall, hit the buzzer beater game winner in game day 1 at Bamberg, and it looked like this team was going to be one to be reckoned with all season long. But after that initial 3-game winning streak, Coach Nestor Garcia and the troops couldn't quite find the rhythm. Garcia, who missed last week's game due to medical reasons, is back on the sideline, so that's obviously a great sign, and all of FIBA is glad to see him back. Meanwhile, Nida Chanak looking to bounce back after a couple of games ago. He got ejected against Dijon. It was a game that featured a couple of ejections for both the French and Lithuanian sides. A game that Dijon would go on to win 99-91. Of course, these two teams have faced off before. Lietkabelis getting the win 78-67. In that one, it was a game that they controlled for most of the way. They had a great first quarter, took the double-digit lead in the halftime, Fuenlabrada made a run in the third, and then Lietkabelis pulled away in the fourth. So the Lithuanians looking for the season sweep of Fuenlabrada. And we'll introduce not just the starting fives, but also the officials for today's game here in a moment. Again, Lietkabelis, although they have a chance to pick up their 5th win, it's unsure that they'll be competing in the FIBA Europe Cup. Meanwhile, all 4 spots out of Group C have been locked in for the playoffs. And just as a reminder, that's going to be Ike, Jerusalem, Antwerp kind of sneaking in there in that 4th spot, and then Brose Bamberg. So, of course, Ike, the defending champions, and then Jerusalem looking like one of the go-to teams, currently on a 5-game winning streak. Jerusalem, one of the potential favorites to win that title. And Brose Bamberg, obviously another team to be respected throughout the playoffs. Then Antwerp, you know, could kind of sneak in and upset someone. They've had a couple of great performances as of late. And there are the referees: Wojciech Liszka from Poland, Marcos Michaelides from Switzerland, and Apostolos Karpakas from Sweden. Lietkabelis, who have lost 5 of the last 6 BCL games. And if they lose tonight, they'll become the 2nd team this season after Opava to have lost all their away games. So the starting 5, Tarolis, Ziga Dimic, who's been playing very well, Yasaitis, Jamar Wilson, and Paulus Valinskas, who 2 games ago was on fire against Dijon, went 6 of 6 from the field, all 3-pointers, finished with 20 points for Nerat Chanak. And then last week against Ike, 1 of 9. So which version of Paulus Valinskas will step up today? We will see. Valinskas also coming in at 10 points per game. For Fuenlabrada, they've been counting on Luka Ripnik as of late, the Slovenian guard, playing very well. He'll be coming off the bench. Starting 5 will be Tomas Bejas, Francisco Cruz, Maurice Kemp inside, along on the wing, Christian Ayenga, and then the big man, Chema Gonzalez. And so a few of those faces obviously were not in the lineup last week. And Nestor Garcia also was not available last week. So that was a very different team. They gave up 104 points to Ches Nymburk, which is, I believe, the season high in regulation this year. Fuenlabrada's defense has been suspect at times. So we'll see if they can turn things around. Maurice Kemp, who definitely brought a lot of energy last week. Rupnik, who's coming off the bench, scoring double figures in his last 3 BCL games. And I was mentioning Fuenlabrada's defense. They're one of 2 teams, alongside Opava, who did get a big win yesterday, Opava. But Fuenlabrada, one of 2 teams that conceded 100+ points on 3 different occasions this year. So a lot of gaps in their defense, but with Christian Ayenga back in there, Chema Gonzalez on the inside, can they produce a solid performance here at home? So we're almost ready for the opening tip. Ziga Dimic, another one of those guys who's been playing well as of late. He's been around a little bit in the Basketball Champions League. Obviously got things started off at Medi Bayreuth. And on the opening tip, It was caught by Dimic, which is a turnover. So the Slovenian, who's had 2 double-figure performances in his last 3 games, gets called for the turnover. So Cruz inbounds. Here's Bellas. Gonzalez, big man on the perimeter. Cruz, Mexican guard, so dangerous. Here's Ayenga, the strong drive and dunk for the first play of the game. Wow, what a way to get things started. Christian Ayenga not going to ease his way into this one. A highlight for the first 2. That's a wake-up call for anyone. Here's Jasaitis. Ayenga all over him. He just throws it away. Careless pass there. Here's Ayenga again. Driving the runner. No good. The tip by Kemp, though. Able to tap it right on in. So Fuenlabrada, a very positive start here in the opening minute. 4 quick points. Jamar Wilson. Little pick and roll. And laid up and in by Dimic. So Wilson and Dimic connecting on the pick and roll execution. Here's Cruz to Gonzalez. Kemp on the block. They reset. Ayenga, step up 3. Too strong, and the rebound taken away by Tarolis. Valinskas. Wilson calling for the screen again. He gets it from Dimic. Dribbles out to reset the screen. Valinskas thought about the 3. Now looking to cross over. The baseline, nice pump fake, extra step, no call. And he knocks down a smooth looking runner. So Valinskas knocking down his first shot. It's good for his confidence after going 1 of 9 last week. From the other end, Cruz gets inside and easily lays it up and in. Valinskas fell to the ground, and Cruz on the board with his first attempt. Wilson looking for Valinskas. They go inside to Dimic. Contested jump hook, no good. Bellas the rebound. Oh, nice drive and kick. Kemp, corner 3, knocks it down. The transition 3-pointer. And Maurice Kemp with a quick 5 points. And that's the one thing Tomas Bellas is always looking for, is his teammates. Not really looking for his own shot too often. As the ball goes inside, Tarolis goes right at Kemp. And nice sweeping kind of hook shot from the versatile big. Up and down we go. Both teams knocking down the shots. Here's Ayenga. A little dump off pass. Gonzalez to the left hand. Reverse layup is good. Ayenga, but that was Kemp actually with a nice assist. And we have our first whistle of the game in terms of a foul. Goes against Cruz reaching in from behind. And on that last Gonzalez layup, it was Ayenga with the assist. There you can see the foul on Cruz. Here's Ayenga with the nice pass. Gonzalez, not an easy finish with the left hand. Wilson leaves his feet and subsequently throws the ball off of Tarolis' hand. Wasn't in the position to catch it. So another turnover for Lietkabelis. Looking at pressure here in the backcourt. Bellas easily gets it in. Good denial from Jasaitis. Ayenga goes right at him, and then he gets his own sweeping hook to drop. So the veterans really coming out with a point to prove here. They don't want to end the season on an 11-game losing streak. And they started out 5 of 6 from the field. Shot clock under 5. Valinskas falls, turns it over. 3-on-2 here. Cruz, a little hesitation in transition. Finds a Yenga. Behind the back dribble. Oh, nice pass again, and Kemp flushes it down with one hand. And Fuenlabrada with a perfect start offensively. 15 points in the first 4+ minutes. Kemp already with 7 of them. And Yenga, another assist, able to draw the defense. You see right there, Tarolis leaves his feet. Dimic falls to the ground, and Kemp gets the easy dunk. So Fuenlabrada have to be happy with this start. 7-9 from the field, 78% shooting. And they've already outshot Lietkabelis 9 shots to 4.
But if you're in the court, play 100%.
No turnovers yet for Fuenlabrada, already 3 for Lietkabelis.
Okay, play regular 0.
Izquierda 3. Entonces Chris se mete. Haz el bloqueo, Chris, haz el bloqueo. Pásame. Más fácil. Pasa. Y vos. Haz el bloqueo, Chris. Chris, haz el bloqueo. 1, 2, 3.
So out of the timeout, Lietkabelis looking to regroup. Already down 9 here in the opening few minutes. Fuenlabrada going to a seemingly full court press. Going to apply the pressure in the backcourt. Soft pressed. No substitutions as of yet for either team. And another near turnover. Wilson makes the catch. Oh, blocked from Kemp. So Kemp, good contest on the 3-pointer. Wilson couldn't get it over his outstretched arms. Cruz inside to Yenga. Looking to go at Yasaitis. Draws the double team. And they turnover on Cruz. Looked like his foot might have stepped on that sideline. Take another look here. Cruz, the right foot right there. Lack of spatial awareness leads to the turnover. So in the game for the first time, number 5, Sinovic. As Yasaitis misses the shot. Chance here for Fuenlabrada to run. A little give and go action. Cruz, nice spin move. Inside to Gonzalez, the footwork. And they reset. Gonzalez did have the angle for the shot. Cruz crosses over. A nice, strong finish there from Cruz. Able to go right into the chest of Tarolis. Pushed him off just a bit. Created the separation and finished. And a offensive foul. Gonna go against Ziga Dimic. Looking to clear out space. So Dimic will come out of the game. And we'll likely see Mindaugas Kupchis. Right there, Dimic using that left elbow to clear space and hit Gonzalez right in the neck area. So Kupchis in as well as Solias Kluvietis. Rupnik in the game, and Cruz for 3. Knocks it down from long distance. Francisco Cruz, 7 points early on. Him and Kemp contributing quite a bit on the offensive end. The answer is, wow, nice bounce for Sinovic. In the outside shot. So Sinovic was recently just come into the game. The serve able to answer Cruz's 3. Here's Rupnik. Instead the double screens for Yenga. Cruz again gets inside. Oh, nice feed to Gonzalez, who finishes through traffic And Fuenlabrada getting anything they want offensively. Already 10 of 12 from the field. 22 points. Still got 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. And this is the exact kind of response you'd want as a Fuenlabrada fan after the performance last week. Sinovic will head to the line. Cruz, though, picking up his second foul. Very similar to that first one, reaching in from behind. So you can expect Mark Garcia to check into the game here. Gonzalez gets a nice applause from the fans. And Vyacheslav Kravtsov, the 6'11" center, number 55, comes in. Also Ian O'Leary, number 4, into the game. So Fuenlabrada turns to their bench. Garcia still not checking in, though. Two for two for Sinovic. Here's O'Leary. He's somewhat of a utility player for Fuenlabrada. Does a little bit of everything, does the dirty work. Rupnik. Kemp and Ayenga, two-man game action on the wing. Kemp posting up as the mismatch goes right over Velinskis. Can't finish, gets his own rebound though. Bumped, no whistle. They're able to regroup. Ayenga now goes strong to the basket. Nice block from Kupchis, though Kemp is there, and another block. But this time Kupchis called for the foul. So Fuenlabrada able to get not just second and third opportunities, but 4 attempts at the basket here. Kemp, good hustle. Kupchis, who got a lot of the ball, but does raise his hand in agreement for the foul. And we'll get the first free throws for Fuenlabrada. Kemp, good on the opening attempt. So a chance for Mo Kemp to get into double figures soon here. And 2 for 2 for the 6'8" power forward out of East Carolina. Torolis back in for Velinskis. Little 2-3 zone defensive look from Fuenlabrada. Wilson goes right at it, finds Kupchis inside for the finish. Lietkabelis needs to start putting together some stops. Already down double digits here in the first quarter on the road. Rupnik. Kravtsov. Ayenga has to do something with it. Gets to the rim with the left hand. What a finish, Christian Ayenga. His motor is definitely running here tonight. 6 points and 2 assists for the wing. Fuenlabrada stays in that 2-3 defense. Kuvietis to Wilson for 3. Short, gets his own rebound. Sinovic drives through the zone, and a block by Ayenga, called for the foul. And you can see the lack of belief in the call, we'll say, from Ayenga. And it's that left hand on the lower back that knocks Sinovic off balance. Ayenga playing very, very well as Bellas comes in to replace him. So a 2-point guard look for Nestor Garcia. Meanwhile, Sinovic off the bench, making a very positive contribution, already with 7 points. Here's Rupnik, give and go with Bellas. Oh, the behind the back sneaky pass was read by Sinovic.
Oh, nice pass up ahead to Wilson. Takes the extra step and able to get the reverse layup off the glass. So textbook fast break as, oh, Belias drops him, feeds Kraftsov, who will be, there's a jump ball. So possession back over to Lietkabelis. That was almost a highlight. This was a highlight. Wilson with the real stretch there to get the lefty reverse. It's Wilson's first field goal. Go with his 2 assists. 7 to 8 second differential. Shot clock and game clock. Wilson knocks down the step up 2. So a nice little run here at the end of the quarter. Meanwhile, Lietkabelis, another potential steal. Rupnik gets it back. Steps out for 3. Too strong. And Kraftsov just throws it up over his head. No good. So at the end of the first quarter, Fuenlabrada 26, Lietkabelis 19. A 7-point lead for the home side here in Spain. And you see the statistics. Very efficient shooting from both sides, really. 69% for Fuenlabrada, 64% for Lietkabelis. And we'll see if either team can sustain that level of shooting or if the defenses will start to pick up. We saw better defense in the last 3 or 4 minutes of that first quarter. Let's check out some of the highlights. And of course, when that's the first play of the game, you can imagine the energy that provides for your teammates. Ayenga with a poster on 2 guys. So Christian Ayenga and Maurice Kemp got things going. Kemp with 9 points and 4 rebounds already, plus a steal and a block. So he's been very active. Ayenga, 6 points, 2 assists and a steal. For Lietkabelis, has been the bench that gave them a boost. They got 9 points from Sinovic and then Kupchis. Sinovic, their leading scorer, with 7. Jamar Wilson with 4. A couple of other guys with 2. In terms of what this game means for the kind of the basketball Champions League context, well, Fuenlabrada will finish in 8th regardless of the result, not just in this game and in any other game. So they know they're going to finish in that last spot. Meanwhile, the Lithuanian team, Lietkabelis, has a chance to finish either 5th, 6th, or 7th, depending on what happens elsewhere. So they are still playing for that pride. Ches Nimberg at the moment, a 3-point lead over Bamberg. And Ike, 8-point lead over Antwerp. And Dijon down 8 to Jerusalem. And the other Group C games taking place right now. Second quarter already underway. Rupnik, Belias, Kraftsov, Kemp, and O'Leary on the floor for Fuenlabrada. Here is Kemp. Takes the mid-range 2, in and out. Rebound to Wilson, who's still on the floor. With Tarolis, Kuvietis, Sinovic, and Kupchis. And Wilson with the good footwork, and he'll head to the free throw line. So Jamar Wilson able to get Belias to commit to the foul. So Daniel Clark seeing his first action of the game. Replaces Maurice Kemp as Wilson knocks down the first free throw. So in this game, you know, these are 2 teams, obviously given their records, only 7 wins combined between the 2 of them. They struggle to score at times, also struggle to stop teams from scoring. I think whoever gets to 65 first will be in the pole position to win. That's the magic number. I want to say is 65. So we'll see the lob to O'Leary from Clark, a little bit off target, but they maintain possession. O'Leary inside, and oh, no and one. They wave the basket and claim that the foul's committed on the floor. You see the crossover here from O'Leary. The foul's there. Did he take another dribble, though? They're going to discuss it. And, yep, they're going to keep it to a baseline out of bounds. So Tarolis doesn't commit the and one foul. Prevents O'Leary from getting to the basket. Here's Luka Rupnik. And Wilson all over him. Rupnik aggressive, tries to squeeze it through, and it's deflected out of bounds by Lietkabelis. 5 seconds on the shot clock. It's now a 5-point game. Here's Clark, little pump fake. Oh, nice pass, and Kraftsov finishes strong with a two-handed dunk. Great pass there from Dan Clark, especially with the shot clock winding down. Defense is assuming he was going to let it fly. Oh, Wilson just knives his way through the defense. Easy penetration and lefty finish for him. He's now got 8 points. So Wilson, who's played this entire way pretty much. And then a block there. Tarolis getting a piece of the Rupnik layup, and here the back door. Oh, near turnover. It's going to stay down here. Kulvetis couldn't quite find a teammate to get the ball to. Referees asking the benches to not necessarily sit down, but to calm down, if you will. As Cruz back in for Bellas. It's taking a look here at that block. Tarolis elevates and gets a fingertips on it. Wilson back out. Kulvetis for three. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And Lietkabelis right back in the game. 28-26. Kraftsov hustles his way down. Blocked by Kupchis. And now a chance for the tie or for Lietkabelis to take the lead. Wilson in transition. Knocks down the two. And just like that, we are tied 28-28. So a nice response here in the second quarter. Lietkabelis on a 9-2 run to start things off in the first couple of minutes. And it's been Wilson who's been the difference maker. He's got 10 points already on 4 of 6 shooting, also 3 assists. Jamar Wilson doing a little bit of everything. The Finnish national, plays for the Finnish national team, obviously born and raised in the United States. Let's listen into the huddle. And there is a 9-2 run. You can clearly see how much these games means to the players. Both teams playing with a lot of energy, a lot of desire. And despite the offensive kind of shootout we had in the opening few minutes, the defense has definitely picked up. You've seen the intensity. Here once again, you're seeing the pressure in the backcourt. So neither team planning on going down easy, and you gotta love that as a basketball fan. Cruz gets the screen from Kraftsov. Keeps his dribble alive. Clark in the corner. Spins away from the defense. Finds Cruz. He's got to get a shot off. And Coop's just a rebound. So the Lietkabelis looking for their first lead of the game. Kulvetis, Clark all over him. Airballs it. Good defense from the big man out of GB. Rupnik calls out the play. Let's see if they can execute. Or Garcia drew up in the timeout. Cruz, oh, almost got the pass, but deflected out of bounds. So 10 seconds on the shot clock. And Yasaitis comes back in for Tarolis. And there you see the kick ball from Kupchis. He's been very active defensively. He's got a couple of blocks. And Dan Clark knocks down the three-pointer, his first bucket of the game. Clark, 24% three-point shooter on the season, but always had a feathery touch. Here's Kuvietis. Sinovic, elbow pull-up, no good. Rebound, up for grabs, and then a foul called on O'Leary as Kuvietis was able to corral the ball. You see there O'Leary penalized for the hustle. Lob, Kupchis, nice catch, kept the ball high, and Gonzalez, wasn't much he could do about it. And a technical foul on Nestor Garcia, who is claiming that Gonzalez was pushed off by Kupchis. Nothing called. So a free throw to come here for the Lietkabelis. Jamar Wilson will take it. And he makes it. So Fuenlabrada, who enjoyed a 14-point lead already in this game. They were up 24-9. Or 20-6, sorry. Terrible math. Here's Cruz. Vilinskas all over him. Cruz still dribbling the ball. Clark, Rubnik looking for room. Cruz has to attack. The backdoor feed, O'Leary, as the shot clock expires, gets the and one. I don't know if that was patience or the fortuity, but O'Leary with the backdoor cut. You see here Cruz recognizing. Nice screen as well from Gonzalez, and then Dimic, who just came back into the game, commits the foul as the buzzer sounds. O'Leary misses the free throw though, but Gonzalez chases it down. Cruz thought about the shot from way downtown, pulls it back out, turns the corner, floats it up, and finishes. 4-point possession for Fuenlabrada. Vilinskas speeding down the other way. And he throws it away. And you see that the points in the paint already in favor of Fuenlabrada as Lietkabelis calls a timeout. So we've already seen 24 points in the paint. Here's 2 of them. First, the O'Leary reversal. And then the Cruz floater.
Don't try. You are out here, he penetrate, Zigo make it one, okay? If he's here on layup, let him. Or make foul earlier, okay? After that, you go here. So deep, okay?
Fuenlabrada, 12 of 19 from 2, 3 of 5 from 3. Still 63% shooting.
What is rebound? After free throws, come on.
Vamos. Paco se lleva el tráfico. Paco se lleva el tráfico. Lucas y Dani hacen pop para tirar. En el medio Chema y en el baseline.
Christian Ayenga still discussing probably that foul call from the first quarter on the block. So Fuenlabrada with the possession. Just over 5 minutes left here in the first half. Cruz, the high screen from Gonzalez, lobs it up. No whistle. Seemed to be a lot of contact. Wilson now in transition. Drive and kick. Spot up three, Kuvietis. He can't finish. And there's going to be a loose foul called on Yasaitis for a push in the back on O'Leary. So third team foul. Yasaitis shaking his head. Take a look on the underneath there. Just a little push off, and when you're going up for the rebound, that will usually be called. Obviously took O'Leary out of the play. First foul on Simas Yasaitis. Oh, nice deflection there from Yasaitis, and they throw it up ahead. And Valinskas, the easy two. So defense to quick offense. First the deflection, the steal, then the pass up ahead. Rupnik into Gonzalez. Little pivot, and the lefty hook is good. Chema Gonzalez, 3 field goals now. Not necessarily known as a scorer. Came into the game just 2 points per game, so already triple his average, and that's going to be another illegal screen. Ziga Dimic, who has done this a number of times as of late, committing another offensive foul, his 3rd personal, and that's going to bring Kupchas back in. And you see a big body wasn't properly set. Wilson, though, when you're coming off that screen, got to give a chance for the big man to set his feet. Chenek explaining to Dimic clearly what he needs to do. Cruz off the screen for 3. Swish, nothing but the bottom of the net again. This time it's Paco Cruz. 12 points on the night for the electrifying Mexican guard, who started this BCL season on fire. And Kupchas, through the contact, able to knock it in off the glass. Rupnik, is anyone going to step up? Clearly not. And that's probably the easiest layup he'll ever get in the half court. A straight line drive finish from Rupnik. Kuvietis, he's been quiet. Kupchas a little bit out of his range. Yasaitis can shoot from anywhere. Baseline 2, no good. Rebound over to Cruz. Fuenlabrada looking to run. Cruz draws the defense, has the big man. They're going to try to isolate on the wing. Cruz, smart double team there from Sinovic. And they regroup to a zone. Rupnik, step back 3 on the way, knocks it down. And the lead is back up to 10 as Rupnik for his first outside shot. And there's a whistle for a substitution. And I'm not sure who the referee was pointing to, but Jamar Wilson, for Yasaitis, who looks like he tweaked an ankle, or it might be his lower back. So he'll get some medical attention. And you see the field goal shooting, both teams over 60%. Gotten some really good offense here in the first few minutes. And there's a wet spot on the floor as Valinskas takes a fall, and Wilson throws the ball away out of bounds. Claims that there was a deflection. Obviously no replay in this case. And Cruz all the way, and it's tapped out. Of course, that's legal in FIBA play. It should really happen more often when the ball bounces around. Here's Kupchas, takes the bump, and can't quite finish the N1, but Gonzalez called for the foul despite having the arm straight up. Kupchas sets the screen, just simply rolls to the basket, and Gonzalez had the arms up, but his feet weren't set. So timeout on the floor, 10-point lead for Fuenlabrada. And I was mentioning Paco Cruz's start to the season. Opened up against Bamberg with 22 points and followed that up with 14 against Antwerp and 19 against Dijon. Was also shooting better than 65% from the field or 70% from the field for that matter in those games. Obviously, that wasn't quite sustainable. Still had 5 double-figure games since then, but none to the level of the performances he was playing early on in the season. You see that the points by quarter, Fuenlabrada responding to the 9-2 Lietkabelis run with a 17-7 run of their own.
Next offense, call L down, okay? L down, okay? Let's go.
Fuenlabrada still the 10-point advantage in the paint. Jamar Wilson, who's just so familiar with so many of these officials and referees, given his wide experience in European play. So Kupchis will be at the line for 2. Christian Ayenga back on the floor. And Gonzalez slightly faked out. Wilson, who will turn 35 in 2 weeks. So when we say veteran guard in the grand scheme of FIBA play, that's what he is. 10+ years on the European circuit. Both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Nice pass from Cruz. Ayenga, the pump fake. Kicks it out. Clark, another 3 on the way. Knocks it down again. And Dan Clark filling the outside shot. 2 for 2 for the big man. Six 3-pointers as a whole for Fuenlabrada. 6 of 8. They've already got 48 points. As Gonzalez commits another foul, Kupchis will head to the line. Kupchis has to be careful, though, with that left elbow that he swung through. I think they called the defensive foul before that. See there, right? Gonzalez didn't even react. As you see there, when Yasaitis might have gotten his actual ankle broken on the Rupnik step back. And there's a problem with the timing, so the officials will go to the table and check out the monitor. The score is right, 48-37. Fuenlabrada playing perhaps their best half of offensive basketball since the opening game days. Question of perhaps a little bit too little, too late. And you see there should be about there's a couple more seconds to go off the clock. Kupchis posts up. And the whistle right there, minute 39, should be up on the game clock. That's what the referee just announced, 1:39. And they've made the adjustment on the game clock. So we're pretty much good to go. Kupchis. And there will not be free throws, despite the team fouls. Shot clock at 5. A lot of ball pressure here. Belinsky gets from way out. Ball was tipped, and Wilson somehow gets it up, and it Kupchis with the follow. So they don't give up on the play. And despite the shot clock expiring, they're able to get 2 points. There's a key bucket, too, to get it back to 9. They can get a stop here. They might have a bit of momentum going into the half. But Rupnik gets it in. Kraftsov can't quite finish over Kupchis. And then Wilson tracks it down. So they got the stop that they needed. Wilson slips again, and then he throws. Well, they throw it away. Clark, nice pass up ahead. Rupnik swatted by Velinskis. Wow. Guard-on-guard crime, and Velinskis back in transition with the runner. So Lietkabelis making plays here in the final minute. Velinskis doing it on both ends. The block on Rupnik that takes it coast to coast for 2. 7-second differential. Rupnik, they get the switch, steps back for 3. No good, but Gonzalez, oh, that's Kraftsov there for the rebound. And the shot clock will be turned off. 6.8 seconds left. We'll see if Fuenlabrada calls it timeout to drop a play, as Kraftsov might have gotten fouled there by Velinskis. Wilson will come out. Bellas will inbound. Looking for a Yenga. Takes his time. Long 2. No good. Rebound Kupchis. And that'll be the end of the half. Shot wouldn't have counted. So after the first 20 minutes of action, Fuenlabrada with a 48-41 lead over Lietkabelis here in Spain. It's a 7-point advantage for the home side. And as the players make their way down the tunnel, we'll take a look at the stats. Both teams shooting very well so far. 6 3-pointers already for Fuenlabrada. The rebounding numbers are fairly even. Fuenlabrada doing a better job of both assisting and taking care of the ball. Francisco Cruz leading the way with 12 points for Fuenlabrada, 11 for Wilson on the Lithuanian side. And then the miscellaneous stats, nothing really too crazy there. Although 2 players in double figures for Lietkabelis. Kupchis with 10 points off the bench. So he's made a very positive impact. 4 of 4 from the field. He's got 5 rebounds as we check out the highlights of the first half. So 20 bench points for Lietkabelis, 28 points in the paint for Fuenlabrada, 10 fast break points for Lietkabelis. So they've done a good job there. They still haven't enjoyed the lead though as of yet. There's been a couple of ties, but they were unable to gain the lead. In terms of overall shooting, Fuenlabrada 57% from the field, 60% for Lietkabelis, but they've knocked down 4 less 3-pointers, although they've made 7 more free throws. So all things considered, pretty even first half. Fuenlabrada playing a little bit better, clearly, given the scoreboard. Christian Yenga cooled off in that second quarter. So did Mo Kemp. Those 2 were doing a little bit of everything in the first 10 minutes. Rupnik stepped up in the second quarter, 5 points, 3 assists for him. Francisco Cruz, as we mentioned, 12 points and 2 rebounds, 2 assists for the Mexican guard. In other Group C action, Bamberg 10-point lead on Ches Nimburg, and Jerusalem 12-point lead on Dijon. So if those score lines stay the same, that means that a win for Lietkabelis would put them in 5th. Although if all 3 teams lose, then they'll stay in 6th. So all the spots have been decided for the playoffs. And the other action in Group D, Strasbourg gets the victory over Ostend, which knocks out Ostend from the playoff contention. And that means that Neptunus Kobaida and Prometheus Petras take those final 2 spots in Group D alongside Bologna and Besiktas. In Group C, we've already mentioned it's Ike Jerusalem, Bamberg, and Antwerp. In Group B, Tenerife, Venezia, Nanterre, and PAOK. And then in Group A, UQAM Murcia, Banvit, Nizhny Novgorod, and Le Mans. So all 16 playoff spots have officially been decided. None of the Group C games taking place at the moment will affect the standings anymore. And what a great time to be alive if you're a basketball fan. Obviously, these teams will be off next week. Then you have the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, which a number of these players will be featured in, taking place in the last week of February. And then the following after that will be the first round, or the round of 16, I should say, for the BCL playoffs. So make sure you stay tuned in for the second half action. We'll be back shortly. So welcome back to the FIBA broadcast. Game day 14, the final game day of the third and another successful Basketball Champions League regular season. Jamar Wilson and Lietkabelis here at the Pabellon Fernando Martin outside of Madrid in Spain, where Montakit Fuenlabrada are enjoying a 7-point lead over their guests from Lithuania. And you see there Jamar Wilson making things happen in transition and in half-court play. Jamar Wilson, 11 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists already.
We will have problem with the rebound, okay? After they start, everybody goes to rebound, okay?
There is the stat line for Jamar Wilson.
Ziga play one-on-one. Then they trap him after he pass full sprint in the paint, okay? Hey, first offense, call 5, but watch, follow, you are here.
So Lietkabelis, 4 wins, 9 losses in the BCL so far. Their overall season record, 17-17 in 34 games. Meanwhile, Fuenlabrada getting a win over the weekend. They had a 5-game losing streak in all competitions, but they've now got 10 wins on the season against 22 losses. It's been a tough one, but they got the victory over Estudiantes. And if they can get this win here and put an end to that 10-game losing streak, it's pretty much the best thing they could ask for. And Paco Cruz, 17 points, leading all scorers so far. Take a look at Cruz's highlights. Cruz, who will likely be in the lineup for Mexico in the World Cup qualifiers as they play a couple of games, including one against Panama in a couple of weeks. And the third quarter is officially underway. Second half action starts off with Lietkabelis with the ball. Dimic and Sinovic on the floor alongside Valinskas, Tarolis, and Jamar Wilson. So it looks like Yasaitis will be sending this one out. And Dimic blows the first layup and then the second point blank range shot. Tarolis the rebound and finishes with the left hand. So Dimic fumbling and mumbling his way to the basket, but Tarolis able to follow up. So Yasaitis with that sprained ankle. Looks like he'll be out for the remainder of the game. Sinovic replacing him in the starting lineup. Here's Ayenga. No good for 2. Wilson from the elbow, too strong. And Dimic had the inside position on Gonzalez, who picks up another foul. His 3rd of the game. You see Gonzalez had to help out on the hedge. So all Dimic had to do was dive to the basket for the inside position. Oh, the nice pass, but deflected by Gonzalez. So Valinskas tried to kind of thread the needle there. Well, over the top at least. Didn't have much room. Gonzalez, solid defense. And the step back 3, air ball. And the numbers here leaking out is Francisco Cruz with the easy 2. Nice pass there from Bellas. And the air ball leads to an uncontested fast break layup for Cruz. Sinovic, he takes a 2 and knocks it down. Sinovic, who's played well while he's been out there, inching his way closer to double digits. Solid screen from Gonzalez, behind the back pass from Bellas. Ayenga spot up 3, in and out.
Sinovic down the lane, swatted away by Gonzalez. But then Bellas throws it out of bounds. He was looking for Ayenga, who was just sprinting down the court. But great rim protection from Gonzalez. Sinovic had the step. Gonzalez, give me that. Dimic, screen, gets the roll. Good, solid defense from Gonzalez again. Forcing a tough shot from Dimic. Here's Bellas, little crossover in transition, and almost threw it away again, but it gets bailed out on the foul. Velinskis trying to slow him down in transition. You see their back crossover, puts Velinskis off balance, and he's forced to use his hands to slow down a quick Spanish guard. They leave Ayenga open. Wilson steps up for the switch. Ayenga goes right through him for two. Long two on the way. Sinovic too strong that time. Ayenga, the rebound, looking to turn and push. Feeds Gonzalez, who gets hacked, and a foul called on Sinovic. So Ayenga showing off the versatility, able to grab the rebound, then put the pressure on the defense. Two free throws here for Gonzalez. And the second one way off, tries to chase it down, but Wilson collects the rebound. And Wilson, another little runner. Defense left him alone. Bellas lobs it to Ayenga, and he steps out of bounds on the catch. So Fuenlabrada still up 6. Oh, turnover. This time, Bellas gets it to Cruz. Oh, little shimmy, Euro step, and one. What a finish by Francisco Cruz. We'll take another look here. Head down, little in and out dribble, Euro step to get around Wilson. Draws the contact and finishes. Ooh, ooh, for two. Francisco Cruz, 16 points. Looking for number 17, no good on the and one free throw. Here's Sinovic, takes the three, knocks it down. Kind of a runner three. And all of a sudden it's back to a 5-point game. Fuenlabrada looking to respond. Sinovic now in double figures with 12. Here's Ayenga. Goes right at Sinovic. Good defense from the Serbian guard. Ayenga again loses it on the way up. Gonzalez to Kemp. He can't finish. And Wilson the rebound. Velinskis now in transition. Short on the runner, then a foul. Loose ball foul called on Tarolis as he pushed Gonzalez out of the way. You see there, Velinskis missing the two hands on the back.
Kemp, who's been really quiet since that explosive start in the first quarter. Also, no Mark Garcia in the game here tonight. Cruz draws a foul on Velinskis. So tonight it's Marko Popovic, Mark Garcia, and Alex Yorka who are seemingly getting a rest. Dimic replaced by Kupchis. Cruz back at the free throw line. Knocks down the first. And he goes 2 for 2. Before coming out of the game, Luka Rupnik back in. And actually it's Tomas Bellas who will get a rest. And drive and kick, Wilson left wide open and easily drills the three. So Wilson, his first shot from beyond the arc. He's got 14 on the night, cuts the deficit down to 4. And you can see no three-pointers yet this quarter for Fuenlabrada, 2 for Lietkabelis. Rupnik double team, almost threw it away, but Cruz responds with a 3 of his own. They left him open, and that was a mistake as Cruz, his third three-pointer, and as he passes the 20-point mark again, Kupchis will head back to the free throw line. So Kemp went for the steal. Sinovich back in. Eno O'Leary replaces a Yenga. Jamar Wilson getting a rest. Kuchis, who just wants to take his free throws, can help but put a smile on his face. Dan Clark also coming back in. Clark, who only took 2 shots but knocked down both his threes in that first half in 10 minutes of action. Kupchis calmly knocks down the first free throw. So Kupchis' line so far, 4 for 4 from the field, 3 of 3 from the foul line, and he stays perfect. Second free throw. So both teams still shooting better than 50% overall. You see the 100% accuracy on the free throws for Lietkabelis. Cruz to get the switch. Clark with the smaller Sinovich kicks it back out. Cruz with the backdoor feed. O'Leary, they wave it off. The ball was still in his hands as the shot clock expired. Literally half a second too late for O'Leary, who does such a good job of moving without the ball, cutting back door. Cruz, though, delivered the pass just a tad too late. Sinovich for 3. Wanted the whistle. In the battle for the offensive rebound, Kupchis dives on the ground, but he throws it away. Cruz up to Kemp, who fades away. Wow. And bodies just falling all over the place. Cruz commits somewhat of a silly foul, because that's now his 3rd. And the defense was back, so not sure you needed to commit that one, but seems like he wanted to slow things down a little bit. And he'll come out of the game. Bellas comes back in. So Cruz and Gonzalez, 2 players of Fuenlabrada with 3 fouls. Ziga Dimic, the only player with 3, as Rupnik gets the steal. And good hustle by Velinskis, and he forces the turnover. You can hear Jamar Wilson getting off the bench to praise Velinskis' hustle. I'm not sure he even got a piece of that. Rupnik lost it on his way up. So Wilson comes back in to replace Velinskis. Sinovic, driving kick. Kulvietis, who's been awfully quiet, finally knocks down the 2. It's his second field goal of the game. And the lead is now just 3 for Fuenlabrada. 3-2 zone type of defense here. Hoops just at the top. Drops back down. Clark for 3. Knocks it down again. Dan Clark. Give that man some more touches. He's 3 of 3, all from beyond the arc. And that's gonna be a foul and 1. 4-point play opportunity. Kulvietis heard us talk about how quiet he was, and all of a sudden back-to-back field goals for him, and the chance to cut this to a 2-point game as Kemp on the closeout overextends himself, catches the wrist. A nice driving kick from Sinovic. You can see it there, clear as day. So Kemp, obviously frustrated after committing that foul, his second personal. And Kulvietis completes the 4-point play. Now Lietkabelis on a 20-15 run here in the third quarter. Rupnik, he'll take the long 3. Too strong. Wilson the rebound. A chance now for Lietkabelis to tie, but behind the back dribble. Great defense from Clark to force a turnover. Clark trailing. They go inside to Ayenga. Looks to back down Sinovic. Rupnik pulls it back out. He's got to go. Oh, the lob, the jam! O'Leary, another backdoor cut. And Rupnik with the no-look alley-oop pass. That will be in contention for the play of the day, no question. Wow. Luka Rupnik dribbling the shot clock down. O'Leary very alert, cuts back door as Clark stays with Wilson and forces another turnover. 2-on-1, can they do it again? Oh, Rupnik, nice little hesitation. Couldn't fool the defense. And Fuenlabrada pull it back out. So consecutive forced turnovers thanks to Dan Clark. Wilson just throwing the ball away. Here's O'Leary on the block, through contact. Rupnik on the baseline. Can't quite squeeze it in, gets away with it, and somehow banks it in off the glass as the shot clock expires. So Rupnik making plays here in the final minute of the third quarter. Shot clock turned off. Lamar Wilson now has 5 turnovers. Finds Kupchis easy too. Wow, a little bit too easy. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. The clock doesn't stop on a made basket in the first or third quarters, even in the last 2 minutes. But at the end of 3, we've got a very good game brewing here. 67-63, Montakit Fuenlabrada up 4 over Lietkabelis. Both teams playing well. You can see the shooting numbers overall. Fuenlabrada 57% from the field. Lietkabelis 55%. 8 for 14 from 3 for Fuenlabrada. We'll check out some of the highlights of that third quarter, including most of the made baskets. Francisco Cruz, 21 points on 8 of 10 shooting. Second leading scorer, Dan Clark with 9. Also Maurice Kemp with 9. For the Lietkabelis, they have 3 players in double figures. Jamar Wilson, 14 points and 8 rebounds to go with his 4 assists. So Jamar Wilson itching closer to a double-double. Sinovic with 12 points, and then Kupchis with 14. So Lietkabelis able to stay in this game thanks to their bench alongside Wilson's play. They've outscored the Fuenlabrada bench 35-22. Rebounding numbers also in favor of Lietkabelis, 25-17. But they still just haven't quite managed to take the lead in this game. So Cruz, who's been hot all night, got 3 fouls. And fourth quarter action. The final 10 minutes potentially, well, unless we go to overtime, will be the final 10 minutes for both of these teams in the BCL. Who's going to go out on top? Here's a Yenga. And they're going to call a double dribble. Yenga looks stunned, but it does seem like his right hand came on the ball. You see right there, Yenga trying to get away with it, unable to do so. Oh, nice action. And Valinskas blows the layup. Thought he got fouled. Had an open look though. Good hustle by Rupnik. Here's Yenga, goes right at Wilson, and this time he commits a travel. So Yenga with consecutive turnovers on back-to-back possessions. And he got to the rim, lost the ball on the way up. So tough couple opening possessions in the fourth quarter there for Christian Yenga. And then Lietkabelis throws it away. So sloppy action on both sides as we start the fourth. Rachanak, the Serbian coach, as Francisco Cruz comes back on the floor replacing Christian Yenga. Right away they go to Cruz. Little pick and pop with Clark. Can he make it 4 for 4? Not that time, but O'Leary keeps the possession alive. Cruz looking to isolate. Shot clock at 5. They go to O'Leary, who finds Clark. Blocked by Kupchis. So the 7-1 big man making an impact defensively there, and then Belias called for the foul. The basket won't count. And all of a sudden the defense starting to pick up as Belias commits the hand check. His second personal. Sinovic. Oh, nice find. Kupchis, the easy 2. And no real interior defense at the moment for Fuenlabrada. Kupchis now with 16 points, still perfect from the field, 6 of 6. They go inside to Clark. Spins off Valinskas and bullies his way for 2. Dan Clark now in double figures and showing that he's not just a 3-point shooter. You see there the points in the paint in favor of Fuenlabrada. And Clark almost gets the steal, but they call the foul. He's got 1 steal to his name so far. Also helped Jamar Wilson into a couple of turnovers. See the left hand there
as Clark checks out of the game. 11 points on 4 of 6 shooting. And it's a steal. Wow. Kraftsov read that perfectly. And now Cruz. Yenga also back on the floor. Rupnik, Kraftsov, and O'Leary. 5 players in white for Fuenlabrada. Cruz steps in for the two-pointer, knocks it down. And he stays hot, which leads to a timeout on the floor. So 23 points for Cruz. And remember, we said first to 65. Fuenlabrada was the team to reach that number.
Solo, don't make that turnovers, okay? If Jamal receives the ball, what?
But nobody's open. Giga is denied. He's switching.
We got time. Okay. Be good. Okay. Let's go. Don't turn the ball over, okay? Jamar, you switch. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When pass too
much against the leading guy.
So you hear there, Nedachanak
No Paco is here.
urging his players to take care of the ball. So far, they've already got 15 turnovers compared to just 11 for Fuenlabrada.
Pick and roll.
And that's resulting in Fuenlabrada getting 7 more field goal attempts, although Lietkabelis has 4 more free throw attempts. But definitely, when you're around the 15 turnover mark, that does make things awfully difficult, especially in a close game like this that will likely be decided by just a couple of points. Oh, nice backdoor cut, and they find Velinskis. Cruz lost him. And great pass as well from the big man. Velinskis now with 8. Rupnik, extra pass, Yenga, corner 3. No good. And they keep leaving the door open for Lietkabelis. Velinskis pushes. Kulvietis, Velinskis back to Kulvietis for 3. Big time shot from Kulvietis. And another timeout as it's a 1-point game. Kulvietis all of a sudden with 12 points. Came into this one averaging almost 10 points per game. And he knocks down his second 3-pointer. Or his third, actually, his third 3-pointer of the night. Obviously had that end 1-3 to build the momentum. So now 4 players in double figures for Lietkabelis. Kupchis and Wilson, 16 apiece. Kupchis obviously 6 of 6 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. And then Kulvietis and Sinovic with 12 points as well. 3 of those 4 players coming off the bench. So 40 of the 70 points from the Lithuanian side coming from their bench. Meanwhile, just 24 bench points for Lietkabelis. Rupnik with 7, Clark with 11, making up the most of those. So 1-2-2 defensive look here. They go to the zone out of the timeout. You got to keep an eye out for Rupnik and Cruz. O'Leary will get 2 free throws, I believe. Did a great job of kind of posting up and sealing at that high post. Set the screen, kind of slipped it, find the gap in the zone defense. A nice pass from Cruz. And it looks like they called the foul on Wilson. He can't quite believe it. His second personal. O'Leary knocks down the first. So
And he splits the free throws. O'Leary, just a 50% free throw shooter. Sinovich gets O'Leary off his feet. 2-point game, a chance here for Lietkabelis to tie or take the lead. Valinskas, contested step back two, he knocks it down over Kraftsov. And that's one of the biggest shots of the game as it ties this one up at 72. We've been tied before, but this is obviously the fourth quarter, entering crunch time. Cruz looking to answer the nice pass. O'Leary looking to flush it over the defense, and they call the foul. So O'Leary will head back to the free throw line. Nice unselfish pass there from Cruz. Draws the defense, kind of a no look, and Sinovich making sure that O'Leary doesn't get the easy dunk. Not a dangerous play though. And O'Leary missing another free throw. So he came into this game just 9 of 18 from the free throw line in 13 games. And he splits them yet again. So stays true to his 50% average. Fuenlabrada back up 1. You see there the free throw numbers. Valinskas, Dimic, an illegal screen set by Sinovich as Rupnik did a great job chasing Jamar Wilson off of that down screen, and it leads to an offensive foul. So watch here on the right side of your screen. Rupnik also accentuates the contact. Sinovich lowered that left shoulder. The Yenga to Rupnik. They get the switch. Cruz for 3. No good. And the ball tipped out of bounds by Kulvietis. So Fuenlabrada will keep the possession. 14 seconds on the shot clock as Torolis comes back in for Kulvietis. Torolis more of the hustle and defensive player of the two. And Cruz looked to split the double team. Dimic, no kickball call. Dimic's teammates and coaches want him to dive for the loose ball. Kind of a long way to go for the big man. Seemed like he kicked the ball. Here's Cruz. Kraftsov takes the baseline jumper, can't finish. Dimic, the rebound. So here Lietkabelis come again. Another chance to take the lead. Wilson inside to the rim, can't finish the lefty shot. Dimic to put back in one. And finally, Lietkabelis has their first lead of the game as Dimic gets that inside position. Kraftsov just slaps his arm, and that's going to bring Gonzalez and Clark off the bench. So the 1-point lead at the moment, the only lead of the game for the Lietkabelis. We'll see how long it lasts. So Dimic at the line, chance to complete a 3-point play. And he misses the free throw. 74-73. 4:40 left here in the game. Nice backdoor cut. Rupnik. Shot clock under 5. Cruz from long distance again, too strong. Torolis the rebound. So Fuenlabrada only 6 points so far in the first 6 minutes of the fourth. Not a good time to go cold. Here's Sinovich. And they're going to call a hold on a Yengo or an offensive foul on Dimic. Referees will discuss. Dimic used his body to clear space. And it is going to be an offensive foul as they claim that Dimic hooked his arm under a yenga. And that is a crucial call here down the stretch. So we'll watch here. Dimic, yep, gets his right arm under a yenga. And that's a great catch from the referees. So fourth personal foul now on Dimic. Skip pass, Cruz. The runner, oh, big time shot from Francisco Cruz. Fuenlabrada back up one. 25 points now for Paco Cruz. They have a mismatch, and Rupnik tried to fight his way around the post-entry pass. Gets called for the foul, the fourth team foul. You see Rupnik anticipating when the pass would have been made. Got the left hand on the ball, but his right arm wrapped around Thoroughlis. So we're going to be in for a exciting finish here in the last few minutes. Which team can execute down the stretch and make plays? Here's Wilson. Gets inside again. And once again misses at the rim. There may have been some contact. And Sinovic has to be careful, arguing the call. Referees willing to be patient. And they wanted a similar call that they have on the other end, the Yenga, who drew the offensive foul when Dimic posted up. That time was a little bit physical with his post up himself. Chanak wants the timeout. You see there, Wilson, minimal contact. Might have been some. So timeout on the floor, 75-74. 3 minutes and 13 seconds remain here in the quarter, in the game. Let's listen in.
Próximo domingo, 3 campo, a 7:30 de la tarde. Nos vemos aquí. Recibiremos a Divina Seguros Juventud.
Play something best, play two, okay? Just play two, okay? Hey. Давай. Here we go. Hey, play two. Donatas, you are here. Okay, Solo is here. Okay. Go, make good screen for Solo, okay? If he's open, give the ball. Okay? Nothing, play, attack.
So now the count lists to 5 players in double figures. Valinskas joins them with 10. On the other end, just 2 players for Fuenlabrada. 25 points to Cruz, 11 for Dan Clark. But they've got more balance scoring. Yenga with 8, Kemp with 9, Gonzalez and Rubnik with 7 apiece, O'Leary with 6. So a few more guys contributing there. And the Yenga, oh, it's Cruz. So they did, in the end, call the technical foul on Sinovic for arguing the call. Cruz gets the friendly bounce on the free throw. And then now a Yenga will go to the line for his 2 free throws. And he gets the same kind of bounce that Cruz did. So Sinovic now with 4 fouls. Well, Sinovic actually, and Clark gets the offensive rebound. Wow, on the missed free throw. So Sinovic out of the game. Kudietis replaces him. And the lob, Rupnik, not a smart pass, but Gonzalez gets the rebound. The shot clock does reset. The ball hit the rim on the pass. Cruz happy to use up some clock. Finds Gonzalez, lefty finish, no good. A Yenga with the hustle but out of bounds off of Ayenga over to Lietkabelis. So Fuenlabrada able to use up a lot of clock on that possession. They get 2 points out of it. Could have got 4. And you see there the hustle. And they leave Kulvietis open for 3. Ties up the game. Saulius Kulvietis right off the bench. They execute the play, drawn up in the timeout, 77-all. That's all you can ask for as a coach, for your players to do exactly as you instructed and for it to pay off. Here's Cruz, Ayenga. He gets inside, takes the bump. Ooh, almost got the end one to fall. And he'll head back to the free throw line for 2. First free throw is good. Kick out Kulvietis again over Ayenga. Short airballs it. And Fuenlabrada slows things down with the 1-point lead. Oh, deflected and stolen. Vilinskas to Wilson. And 1! Jamar Wilson with the huge bucket. In transition, Luka Rupnik throws the ball away. Vilinskas almost travels there. And then Rupnik commits the foul. And Jamar Wilson now with 18 points. Make that 19, and he gives Lietkabelis a 2-point lead with just over a minute to go in the game. Clearly the ball has to go through Cruz. Cruz, oh, nice deflection by Dimic. Cruz able to stay with it. Draws 2 defenders, and this time Wilson helps out. So pestering defense here from Lietkabelis. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Cruz with the handle. Minute 6 left in the game. Fuenlabrada down 2. Here's Clark, spots up for 3. No good. Ayenga can't quite tip it to Rupnik, who makes a fantastic hustle play, but out of bounds. So Fuenlabrada need a stop here defensively. Ayenga fortunate to not be called for over the back. And watch this hustle again. Rupnik really had no chance of making the play, but all-out effort. Gonzalez looking to foul Dimic, it seems. Might as well play it straight up here. Clark in front of Wilson. Good help. They leave Kulvietis. Oh, that's Storolis for 3. Oh, big time shot. Donatas Storolis with the clutch tray. And it's a 5-point lead, the largest of the night for Lietkabelis. And would you believe it, Jamar Wilson, the drive and kick. They leave Storolis open, and he calmly knocks down the 3. What a time for Storolis to knock down his first 3-pointer of the game. And you can see there it's been a 20-11 run in the 4th quarter for Lietkabelis.
Sacamos son 14, son 14. ¿Dónde voy?
Son 14.
Son 14 segundos desde ese lado.
Son 14. Son 14 segundos, 7. Anoto el canasto. Defiende.
Lietkabelis, who knocks down his first three-pointer in the last 6 games. He's only had 4 three-pointers all season before that one. And what a time to knock down your 5th, huh? Jamar Wilson drew the defense over. He gets his 5th assist of the game to go with his 19 points. So 40 seconds remain. 5-point lead for the Lithuanian team. Here's Rupnik, takes a little bump. Clark has to put it up. Shot clock at 2. The lefty hook, tough shot. Rebound, Kuvietis. And now shot clock and game clock. Shot clock probably turned off. And they've got a foul. They'll put Wilson on the foul line. So Fuenlabrada, and all you can really say is this will likely sum up their season in the BCL this year. They led for 35 minutes of this game. They had the lead. And now, all of a sudden, they find themselves down 6, potentially 7, with only 12 seconds left. Not looking too pretty. And the losing streak might extend to 11. We're gonna have a timeout on the floor. Once again, Jamar Wilson's play proving pivotal down the stretch. The veteran turns 35 in 2 weeks, plays 35 minutes in this game, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And Fuenlabrada will be seriously disappointed with this potential outcome. They're shooting 51% from the field, knocked down 8 three-pointers. They have been out-rebounded. So Francisco Cruz, can he make a miracle happen? Down 7. Cruz with 26 points on the night. Néstor Garcia, one more desperation attempt here in the final 12 seconds. Here is Cruz. And they're going to call an offensive foul, pushing off guess who? Jamar Wilson, forcing the turnover. Veteran play from the guard, felt the contact, and just fell to the ground. And with that, Cruz fouls out. So adding insult to injury, as Cruz won't finish this game. Jamar Wilson will just dribble out the clock. Lietkabelis finishing on a winning note here in the final game day. It's Lietkabelis 85, Fuenlabrada 78. A 7-point victory for the Lithuanian side. And you can see that the final score, Lietkabelis once again 85, Fuenlabrada 78. Victory on the final game day for Lietkabelis. A tough loss at home for Fuenlabrada. They end the season on an 11-game losing streak after winning their first 3 games of the year. So the Spanish side will look to regroup. Of course, no Mark Garcia on the floor today. There's Marko Popovic. And Yasaitis talking it out. And still getting a nice applause from these fans, for which they will return the favor before heading down the tunnel. So that will conclude these seasons, both of these respective seasons for these two teams. Fuenlabrada finishing at 3-11, Lietkabelis finishing at 5-9, and also Lietkabelis looking like they will finish in 5th place. And you take a look at the stats from today. Great shooting from both teams. Both teams over 50% from the field. Both teams knocking down 8 3-pointers. It was a very even game throughout. You can tell by the stats, everything relatively even. Cruz with 26 points to lead the way for Fuenlabrada. Jamar Wilson, 21 points and 8 rebounds. Luka Rupnik made a lot of plays, but that key turnover that led to the Jamar Wilson and 1 turned this game around. Dan Clark, second leading scorer with 11, Ayenga with 10. And we'll check out the highlights of the second half. Another tough loss for Fuenlabrada. But as I mentioned elsewhere in Group C, Jerusalem ending things on a winning note as they beat Dijon 85-83. And then Ike has a 4-point lead on Antwerp, though that won't affect the standings. And Bamberg, a 6-point lead on Nymburk. So a strong finish here for the Lietkabelis means that they will finish in 5th place as things stand at the moment. Meanwhile, Fuenlabrada back to the drawing board and the domestic league here in Spain. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been another great game here in the Basketball Champions League. It's why these teams take advantage of the opportunity to compete in it. One of the premier teams in Lithuania against one of the top teams in Spain. And with plays like that from Rupnik to O'Leary, the no-look alley-oop, which we will see on our social media accounts. Make sure you follow Basketball Champions League on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram for up-to-the-date, up-to-the-minute stats and news, scores, and highlights. Meanwhile, the round of 16 will take place in March in a couple of weeks, so make sure you tune into that as well. Enjoy the rest of your night. Good night.
give them points from our